Good evening and welcome to the third and a final series of shows with the candidates for office for November 4th. This is being brought to you by Cayuga Community College and the Citizen. I'm your moderator, Guy Cosentino. On November 4th, the voters in Cayuga County will be able to vote for a new Cayuga County coroner. The position that is currently held by Dr. James Dolan, who has held the position since 2005, has become an open seat this year. Dr. Dolan has decided for health reasons not to seek another term. That position is elected for a 4-year term. The position is part-time and pays roughly about $15,000 per year. Doesn't include health insurance or any benefits such as that. And the job oversees about a staff of 6 part-timers. Since the issues in this race for coroner are not necessarily very extensive, we have dispensed with our normal format of having the Citizen's Jeremy Boyer ask the questions. Instead, we've been asked by both the candidates and their campaigns to have them on to tell you a little bit about themselves and why they're seeking the office. So what we've decided to do is have them both in the studio to give them both 5 minutes to talk about why they're running and what the position entails. Since this is the only competitive election this year that is countywide, David Gould, who is sheriff, does not have an opponent. So we have asked the candidates to draw lots. They are in the order that they are going. They are Dr. Adam Callett, who is on the, we were just talking about Dr. Callett, Dr. Adam Duckett, who is on the Republican line, and Steve Pelk, who is on the Democratic line. We want to welcome you both to the studio, and
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Delighted that you were willing to come on for 5 minutes each. We're going to start by draw the straw. Dr. Duckett is going to get 5 minutes to talk to the public. Herman, our second-year student here, will be timing you and let you know when your time is up.
Sounds good.
Welcome.
Well, thank you for giving me the floor, and thank everybody here for giving us the opportunity. Since I don't have much time, and 5 minutes may seem like a long time behind the camera, but it's not a lot, so I'm just going to jump right to it. My name's Adam Duckett. I was born and raised in Auburn, New York. I've been here for multiple generations on both sides. I actually only left Auburn to pursue my career as a physician, so I was in school for 11 years and then came back to the community to practice medicine, which was ultimately my lifelong dream. So, you know, really, before I begin here, I want to start off with a bit of a quote, just because I think it's a very important quote for any form of campaign and election time. John F. Kennedy once stated, "Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democrat answer, but the right answer." As a candidate, it is my job to inform the voters who I am, what I stand for, what the office is about, and what I can do for the office. So I would like to start off first by saying what the coroner is. First off, the coroner's office is responsible for essentially investigating any untimely death, meaning that anybody that passes away unexpectedly, be it in a car accident or from an illness, we would investigate that case. Currently, as Mr. Cosentino said, we've had Dr. Dolan as our coroner since 2005, and due to health issues, he's not going to be running again, and he's endorsed myself to hopefully, if I do well with the election, to take him in his stead. So, understanding what the coroner's office does now kind of brings me to why I feel that I'm most qualified for the position. First off, in New York State, it's true that a coroner needs a high school education and doesn't need any special skills to be the coroner. However, with that stated, in an event where a coroner is elected to the office that is not a physician, there must be a coroner's physician or a medical examiner that is appointed to oversee the duties of that office. Only a physician in this state can sign a death certificate, and only a physician can do the medical exams necessary to determine if certain cases need to go to autopsy. One of the biggest misconceptions about our office of coroner here is that every case is not like a CSI case that you see on TV. The vast majority of people either die from a long-standing illness or they pass away from some form of just natural cause like old age or whatever else. What I hope to bring to the office is essentially the medical expertise necessary to not send as much as we do out of county, or what we would have to do if we didn't have a physician in office. We don't have every death certificate signed by a person's primary care provider, be it they may be out of town, or since they weren't there at the time of death, they are sometimes uncomfortable to sign off on these death certificates. So hopefully I can save the county money by not having where we didn't have to send those cases to the medical examiner in Onondaga County, and keep them here in county. The bigger cost saving is the autopsies. If you have an individual that had a clear-cut reason of how they passed away, I can simply do a medical exam and sign off on the death certificate and save on the couple $1,000s that an autopsy would cost the county. Because the important thing to know is that our relationship with the medical examiner in Onondaga County is a case-by-case thing. So essentially, the more that we send, the more that we spend. So, in closing, I really just can't stress enough how important it is to keep a physician in office for the quality of assessment, cost savings, and just want to state again that I am the only candidate that's endorsed by Dr. Pat Ross, Dr. Dolan, and the Cayuga County Sheriff's Police Association. So thank you very much.
All right. We want to thank Adam Duckett, the Republican
Thank you.
candidate. I apologize for calling you Dr. Kellett. We happened
that's
to be
fine.
talking about him just before we went on. We'll now hear from Steve Pelk, who is the Democratic endorsed candidate. Mr. Pelk, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. I would like to thank Mr. Cosentino and the students here at the community college for inviting us here today for this opportunity to speak with the voters. I would also like to thank Adam for being here also. My name is Steve Pelk. I am the Democrat endorsed candidate for county coroner. Myself and my wife are lifelong residents of Auburnians, and we have raised 2 children, and I reside on Chase Street here in Auburn. I am running for coroner because I believe more than 30 years of experience as an EMT, paramedic, Auburn firefighter, and a licensed funeral director provides me with the necessary background to be best prepared to take on the job. I know firsthand what it is to be on the scene of an accident and how to handle emergency situations. I believe my first responder experience will serve the coroner's office well when investigating the scene of an accident and communicating with other responders that are on the scene. I also am an owner of the Hike Pelk Funeral Home here in Auburn. With my background of business and a property owner, I completely understand the coroner's office will need to be run efficiently and with integrity. I pledge that I will always operate the coroner's office within or below the budgets allocated by the county legislator. Now, there are 3 points I would like to address this evening to set the record straight for the voters about the position of coroner. First is that the New York State, an individual does not have to be in a position to be a coroner. In fact, according to the New York State Association of Coroners, the majority of the elected coroners across the state are not physicians. The second point has to do with the autopsies. In order to perform an autopsy, you need to be a forensic pathologist. Neither myself nor Adam Duckett are qualified to perform an autopsy. In fact, there are no forensic pathologists in Cayuga County. It is very important that the voters know this. The current coroner, Dr. Dolan, cannot perform an autopsy. Adam Duckett cannot perform an autopsy, and I cannot perform an autopsy. This is why the county sends the overwhelming majority of unattended deaths to the Onondaga County Medical Examiner's office. The third and final point I would like to address, it has to do with the death certificates. I believe it is the right of the deceased to have their death certificate signed by their attending physician. This should always be the case when attended deaths. I would like to point out that the number of times that the coroner actually signs a certificate of death are few and far between. In fact, this year, the city of Auburn, Dr. Dolan, the current coroner, has signed 0 death certificates. Before I conclude, I would like to thank the following public safety employee unions for their endorsement for my candidacy: Auburn Police Local 195, Auburn Firefighters 1446, Auburn Retired Firefighters Association, NYSCOBA, Auburn Correctional Facilities Chapter, and the Cayuga County Labor Council. I would also like to thank my family and all of the people that have supported me during this campaign. To conclude, I would like to ask the people for your vote on Tuesday, November 4th. I pledge to you that I will use my 30-plus years of experience as an emergency responder in your interest to run the coroner's office efficiently and with integrity. Thank you again, Mr. Cosentino, for hosting us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you both. Again, the candidates for coroner, as they are seated in the way they drew lots to speak today, are Dr. Adam Duckett, who is on the Republican line, and Stephen Pelk, who is on the Democratic line. We urge you to go to their either Facebook pages or websites, which you can easily get on the web if you'd like to learn more about them. The Citizen also did a profile of them in the last couple of days. We encourage you to go to that. We're sure that there will be more coverage of this race in the coming days by the Citizen and with letters to the editor as well. So we encourage you to learn more about the coroner's position. Again, this is the only position in Cayuga County that is being elected solely in Cayuga County where there's a competitive race. The office of sheriff is unopposed. David Gould, unless for some odd reason, will be reelected on November 4th. We urge you to go to the polls. We want to again thank the candidates for being here, and the Citizen will have this on their website before the end of tonight so that you can pop it on and look there. As a programming note, these shows are now available not only in the Time Warner format, but the Auburn Regional Media Access, ARMA, is playing these shows on Saturdays and Sunday evenings starting at 5 p.m. on Time Warner's 12 and 98, as well as Verizon Fios 31. They're also being simulcast on Saturday mornings on the college's radio station, WYNR 89.1. Before we go, though, we would like to let you know that you can send us your thoughts and ideas for guests or questions to Inside Government, P.O. Box 839, Auburn, New York, or by email at cozguytho@aol.com. For Cayuga Community College and the Citizen, I'm Guy Cosentino. We want to hope that you have a good night, have a great tomorrow, and more than importantly, we hope you remember to go vote next Tuesday.